Namaste and catch my family, and welcome to another morning coffee with Rion. It's an absolute pleasure being with you guys here today. How you guys doing out there across planet Earth? A little excited, got my coffee, got amazing dream times to share with you guys, and a lot of stuff, trying to explain some of the stuff that's going on behind the veil. Here we go. It's going to be more of a global dissertation on hybridization on this planet and what that really means. I think there's a lot of different realities merging right now, as we know. Let's take a look at what we do know. We know that there's some new videos and content out there with the Mandela effect. I just saw one that was pretty ridiculously awesome. Remember that one thing I talked about in a previous video where everyone remembers in Star Wars, Luke, I am your father? And then people were like, no, it's I am your father. Like all the like movie buff people that like actually think they know what they're talking about. Well, check this out. Someone dug up James Earl Jones interviews. They missed it. James Earl Jones interviews where he goes, Luke, I am your father. In the video I spoke about earlier in the Copy Talks, I actually posted that link at the bottom. I found it very interesting. They might have changed the movie, but they did not change the James Earl Jones, who is the voice of Darth Vader, interview. They missed that one. Moving on. Mandela effect's awesome. What does that mean to me? Minus all the CERN mumbo jumbo. Here's the deal. You got parallel realities rocking next to each other. Here's Earth 1 and here's Earth 2. Well, there's an omniverse of Earths, right? Well, what I can say is that in these timelines, as time is collapsing, one Earth, we're kind of riding each other's slipstreams, one in front of the other, and depending on what we choose, will be the overlay of the new reality matrix. What you're actually realizing or living through right now is that transition. That's why it's so awesome. That's why it's so important to control your mind. Manifest what you want in your life. Manifest the type of life that you want. To not buy into negativity or lower frequency or lower vibrational concepts, because right now as these worlds are merging, your thought forms, your heart is choosing which reality you would like to be in. Do you want that reality of abundance? Do you want that reality of amazingness 24/7, 365, every plank second that ticks by? Do you want that reality where anything is possible? Right? It's almost like Tomorrowland, in that Disney movie. What happened if all the greatest minds in the whole world came together to make this place awesome? Well, imagine if, 8 billion people came together to make this place awesome, right? Well, what I'm getting to is that right now, the main thing on the line for you is choice. Your sovereign right to choose. So choose wisely. Okay? I went through a little trial and tribulation yesterday, and I'll tell you about it now. My little Jack Russell Terrier, Maximus, passed away. I got the news from my mom's in LA. Max has gone to the next world, right? That was my little buddy. That dog was very, very special to me, and it wasn't more like a dog. Pets are almost like our family. So I want to express something to pay homage to Maximus. I want to pay homage to all the pets out there and all of that unconditional love and those source bombs. You could have a cat, you could have a dog, a parakeet, whatever that is for you. But I'll never forget this. I was in Los Angeles in 2009, and I had just gotten my eyes. And I had to be operational. And my guides gave me 8 months to a year to be operational to go to work on this planet. That's when a lot of my world mission started. And I remember how I got through it. People ask me all the time, how did you advance so quickly? How did you go through this? What were some of the things that happened to you? Well, I woke up in South Bay, Southern California, and to get to where I needed to be operational and to be of use for this planet, I had to move very, very quickly. And what I requested was in dream time, I didn't ask for, as far as my past life processing or how or what I needed to learn. I didn't take it a bite at a time. What I did is for 8 months straight, every single night I closed my eyes, I asked for, um, maximum download, maximum processing to actually integrate with one of my higher selves, whose skill set is actually what was necessary at that time to clean up some of the stuff that needed to be cleaned up here, and also to be trained well enough to deal with some of the things I was going to deal with that I didn't even know about yet. So what happened was, I call it the Tesla shake. Some of you guys still might do it out there, but Tesla used to shake all night. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but what happens is when you're shaking, it's like, I don't know what you want to call it, but I used to vibrate in my sleep all night long. And especially the first 8 months, because I was actually, my energy was trying to fire inside of my suit to raise my oscillation level to, blow off, like I said, that 28 years of unconsciousness that I had gone through. My suit, my third eye, all of my meridians had to fire. So I chose a more of a shock and awe version of that story. And I learned and adjusted, my biological suit adjusted very, very quickly. It took me 8 months. Going back to Maximus, my little bro. He was the dog you saw in my first How to Astral Project video. And yeah. So what I was trying to say was, when I was alone and I was processing this stuff from upper dimensions and processing my lives in Egypt and engaging in my higher self, my 8th-dimensional platform of some of the skill sets I had to learn down here. I couldn't tell my parents what I was experiencing. I used to close my room and then go into the den and close that door. And I used to spend a lot of time by myself because the stuff I was going through, I couldn't really share with my parents at that time. I couldn't share with anyone. What happens when you wake up and everyone around you is asleep? And not only did I wake up, my biological suit actually was changing daily. So anyways, back to me shaking. I'd shake at night, and I basically was getting that high voltage downloads, and my body was changing. And Maximus would always know when it was happening. He would get up from my parents' bedroom, run around, and then come and lay down on my legs, and he would ground me. And he did that every night for as long as I was there. I moved back home when I went back to college. But for that year I was there, finishing up college, he helped me out that entire year. Every single time I would start to shake, he would come and he would automatically ground me. He knew that I needed assistance, and he would do that amazing job for me. And I'll never forget that. When I was totally alone and I was going through that stuff, he was there for me. So, as a reflection for you and your pets and loved ones and your family members, to remember that everyone does the best they can, and that your pets, that unconditional love that they show us, just that they love us, to remember the best parts of them. Obviously, as dogs or cats get a little older, they get a little grumpy, they might not be as nice, but to remember whoever that is. It could even be a family member. When they got a little older, they might have got a little off center, let's just say. But when they were younger, when they were in their prime, when they were actually, were doing their purpose, that's how you'd like to remember people and pets and loved ones, is what I should truly say. I would look at my dog Maximus, okay, and I could actually see the spirit driving the little suit, and I would talk to that little energy spirit running the suit. That was one of the first times that when my eyes came on in this place, everything changed. It was like, I began to see on the other side of the veil. through the illusion. So, not only did I see every animal has a soul, every animal has a spirit, every animal has a driver, right? They call them little drivers, right? But to understand the interconnectedness of everything, and that everyone plays a very vital role down here to be a part of this amazing experience. So, this is my cheers to my dog Maximus. Appreciate you, and I'll be seeing you soon. So, moving on. Not too soon, I hope. Okay. So, back to this hybridization flavor, and back to this video coming full circle. This experience has showed me many things and reminded me of many things in my life. Things that are very important to me, things that put things in perspective for me. I like to call my memory, or my short-term memory, I can say, as I have sometimers. I like to call it sometimers, because sometimes I'm here in this 3D reality and sometimes I'm not, right? So, as a reflection for you guys out there on planet Earth, to remember that as you're processing and integrating and accelerating yourself, the older versions of yourself will be shifted out. Those things that no longer serve you, those experiences, those attachments will be shifted out. The main reason being that as the frequencies slam into this planet, and the frequency of Gaia herself is raising, right? It's creating new pockets of creation. It's creating new realities of energy, which are now coalescing down here on the surface, and actually some humans and some of us and our family out there are now beginning to see firsthand. What I can tell you is that the media campaign to keep everyone in fear mode has really kicked up a notch, eh? This comic book presidential race where everyone on the planet really doesn't want to choose either of these people. To be honest with you, it's kind of like a joke. Regardless of how this plays out, I just hope that whatever happens, that their motivation, their integrity, and their higher selves keep them in check, and that comic book characters, shouldn't be ruling the planet. Those that have frailties and liabilities in their integrity, representing many, 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 many souls, that needs to have a second viewing on that. Us in our galactic family, us as the eagles that sit on top of the Illuminati and the Illuminari. Okay, if you guys didn't know that, that's what galactic means. We sit on top of the situation down here. Illuminati, those that were supposed to, run the surface. Illuminari, those in the core of the planet. And on Hermes' staff, why there's the eagle on top. That's the galactic space family that sits and oversees everything. Being a member of that eagle tribe that incarnated on this planet, what I can tell you is this. Our goal right now, as a planet, is through the distraction, find thyself. Through the distraction, find thine experience that you wish to experience in this physical reality. Find your purpose. Find the meaning for being here. Find your friends and loved ones and cherish them. Treat every moment as an opportunity to create something new. Every generation should improve our environment, leaving the next generation with a more upgraded and amazing facility, not the other way around. Every being here has the sovereign right to grow and evolve. And some of us who haven't been here in quite some time, thousands of years, who chose to incarnate into a suit just like you, to view this place through your eyes, we're beginning to see some of the conflicts and understandings and experiences that you guys are all going through down here. But to remind you that the stronger the test, the stronger the test that you undertake, and as you pass that test, the stronger you become. And I understand that that's a very difficult experience sometime to go through. I understand that a lot of us didn't sign up for some of these experiences. We feel like this temporal reality has been hoodwinked and taken over by those not worthy of leadership. We feel that the stewardship of Earth needs to be balanced, and that divine feminine brought into a balanced sphere of understanding. We understand that the divine masculine needs to reawaken, not this perverted version of what that truly is. We understand that many things are being blended down here on Earth in this experiment, and many new experiences are being gathered by different species that might be trying this suit out for the first time. For all of those beings here on Earth that might be your first run in a suit, and for all those beings that are very, very old, such as I and some of my brothers and sisters, to remember that the hierarchy and the order and the universal law that governs this universe is there for a reason. It's not because we're trying to, make you feel bad about your decisions, but we're here to truly show you the cause and effect of your actions, and how your actions play out through the whole universe, omniverse, and obviously multiple realities coalescing and coming together as one, right? Which can be seen in some of the different ways. One of those being the Mandela effect of different realities merging and being changed. As the frequencies on Earth keep going up, they're not going to stop. The issue is that this order of control, everything is energy, right? Everything is vibration. And to understand that if the galactic center keeps cranking, we're not getting out of this photon belt for 2,000 years, right? So what I'm trying to get to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is please work on yourselves. Please work on your emotional integration. Please work on being more balanced. Please understand that you guys are getting more energy and more frequencies to co-create your reality and manifest what you want in this world. So as they keep turning the volume up, please don't fill that space with negative or low vibrational content. It's going to make it very difficult for many of us to navigate, and it will create more separation. We are one species. We are the human species. Regardless of the pigment of our skin, we all got red blood, right? Well, some of those blue bloods out there, or whatever you want to call it, right? But I want you to understand that when we're viewed from space, we're seen as one planet. You keep zooming out on Earth, and you see one people. And I really want you guys, to be reminded of that. Some of the things about hybridization from the different local group. Okay, back to the hybridization here. Some of my guys on my stream, I'll just talk about them because those are the guys I'm in contact with daily, nightly, right? I am Andromedan, Lyran, Palladian, Syrian, Arcturian. I got a couple of Drakes on my stream as well. I also am working in Palladian. Okay. I also am working in correlation with some amazing beings from Alpha Centauri, which I would hope to attain that level of awesomeness one day. I am from Andromeda. I found this out kind of recently. It's not so much recently. I always viewed my higher self. He's about 14, 15 feet tall, super cool, super blue, four-finger, hands are like this. He's super cool. I don't know. He's a very cool guy. It reminds me of like Vishnu or Krishna type of a look to him. He's definitely a part of that royal family. When I went to India, my guide was like eye to eye, buddy to buddy with the deities at Jagannath Temple in India. That I can tell you. I can tell you that our star families oversee this territory. I can tell you that each religious belief system is based on one of my family members. That I can tell you, as a matter of fact. Even the naughty ones. What else can I tell you? Every single territory on Earth has a different group of beings responsible for that territory, of people that live there. Inside that territory, there's a religious belief system based upon that territory, that culture, that language, which resonates with that population based on the time that it was written for that population. Um, that's pretty much it. The story of Horus, the story of Jesus, the story of all these amazing people, very same background story, born of a virgin, right? Came down from the stars, right? Here to help out. Um, our family is very, I love Buddha. I like the Buddha story too. Buddha's so cool. I like Buddha. Very flavor for Buddha. I work for Buddha, eternal Buddha. Who else? Me being born, raised Catholic, born and raised. I love my Virgin Mary. I love Big J. Right? Here's the deal. Different territories, different flavors, different galactic territories. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the different districts on Earth, but I will tell you, for example, Sweden is Palladian land, UK, Dragon land. Let's just call that Dragon land. Out here in the desert by the Hopis, Orion land. There is a star map driven up of the different territories on Earth of different galactic families, similar to how they have Antarctica split up into each area as a different country. Well, on Earth, they have this planet split up into different galactic areas as well. That was very interesting learning that, and it was very interesting to see, as above, so below, how the interaction and hybridization works. So check this out. Back to the hybridization. Okay, so the main thing you're going to have to understand with your higher selves is, like, straight to the gut checkpoint. You got you and 3, you're in the physical. On your lowest night side, you got your 4D in this duality game. On your lowest light side, you got this 5D form on your light side. Okay, you're the center of you're the roots of the tree of life. Up go your branches. Okay. What I'm getting to is integration, understanding, implementation of which of your higher selves wills you find in your heart that you would most like to be similar to. Do you resonate with that Palladian version? Do you resonate with that Syrian version? Do you resonate with that Arcturian version? Do you resonate with that Andromedan version? Okay? Or do you resonate with that Anunnaki version? I missed one. I have an Anunnaki on my stream as well. Anunnaki, right? Anu, faux show, if you guys know what I'm talking about. You can leave the Aki off the end. Just call me Anu, just means royal seed. Anywho, what I'm getting to, that's a little joke for my family out there. What I'm getting to, ladies and gentlemen, is we are the microcosm of all of these different frequencies and dimensions coalescing into a physical hardware suit where all of these different dimensional versions of ourselves are jacked into this suit. So depending on how aware you are, they say you only use a small percentage of your brain. Well, what is using 100% of your brain? Meaning that you're completely conscious in every single dimension in this sphere? Just throwing it out there. Being able to portal in and out of a location, by location, right? Using some of these skill sets, it's more like an advanced type of technology and understanding and consciousness, knowing how your molecules, atoms, and cells function, and how that energetic frequency courses through everything. And then once you're at that frequency level, you can obviously see the doors in front of you, or all around you, I should say, right? So usually every Palladian comes down here with a Syrian bodyguard. That's a 5D Palladian. It'll usually have a 6D Syrian bodyguard. Your 4th dimensional versions usually jacked into your 6th dimensional Syrian, but truly, I've seen most 8th dimensional Anunnaki have good reigns on your 4th dimensional deal. Your 8th dimensional Anunnaki version is under that 10D Draco version on the night side of that Galactic Federation of Control. Back to your Earth Alliance light side, you're going to have your Palladian in 5. You're going to have, you could have an Andromedan in 7. You could have a higher ranking Palladian in 7. You could have a angelic in 7. Just depends, right? Going up on that bandwidth, your Andromedans, your Arcturians, rock that light polarity. Your Lyrans, right? All the way up there, right? Lyrans are the game makers of this game. So if you want to know who the Lyrans are, they're part of they're one of the groups that worked on the chessboard that we're playing on. Okay, in this holographic matrix, which was created, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of years ago, but in this reality matrix, the suits are changing, the biology is changing, and I truly feel that our size has a direct correlation with the advances in our genome. And to be honest, even if you're a time jumper jumping back from the future 1,000 years, you know, Corey Goody talks about jumping back 40 years. I think I jumped back like 3,000 years back into the future, from the future into this space. 40 years, try 3,000 years jumping back here. The main reason why some of us jump back here was because there was this timeline was headed into a place that at the end of it being said and done, everyone on either side was totally upset with the outcome. Duality, the whole thing was just lame for everybody. Okay? So, I know it's weird jumping back in time and talking to myself in the past, right? And sharing that with you guys, pretty trippy, right? But to tell you that what we do here now in this timeline, what we do here right now in the beginning of this age, sets a precedent for days to come in our future. What we're being given right now from our elders and those ancient builder race overseers is a choice. Will we choose to evolve and be awesome and come together as one? Not just one as a human species, but imagine every single aspect inside of your suit. You know, Palladians are shaking hands with reptilians, and reptilians are shaking hands with Andromedans, and Andromedans are shaking hands with, Anunnaki, whatever it is, right? We are fixing the entire stream of consciousness as we integrate it and process it down here in the physical. Because check this out. I know for a fact I'm making a very important decision, usually when I'm operational. And I know that some of my team members don't get along. Like my Omi, my Palladian. She's rad. She's super rad. And she's got upgraded, by the way. She's ascended into the next platform. So everything's kind of shifted on my stream. So she'll sit there and go, I'm not talking to that guy. He never wants, like talking to one of my other higher selves, right, on my night side. Like, this guy never listens. He never changes. Same guy, different century, right? And on my night side, same thing. The funny thing is, through me, though, I'm the kid. So it's like parents arguing. I'm like, yo, guys, you guys are supposed to be evolved beings here. Like, help me out. You guys are supposed to be a 9th, 10th dimensional, amazing, sophisticated situation. Enlightened being, right? Here's the deal. Through us in this ground, if we can fix the ground, the roots, the core matrix, the hardware, if the hardware gets mended and healed, everything else, right? All the way out into the universe gets healed from all these different sectors and places. That's why Earth is such an amazing place. And that's why Earth is considered, obviously, the living library, right? Well, we are stewards of that living library, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want you to know that I chose to integrate, when I chose this life, all these different aspects I have, right? That piece of source energy, that angelic energy, that heart energy that I rock, I chose my parents, integrated into their DNA, and hence their bloodlines of what they were attached to, right? Plus what I brought with me. So just because you might have a higher self that is this specific species or this specific species, here's the deal. You integrate it into a suit that has that aspect or that soul stream attachment to it. Here's the issue. If you can learn to steer your timeline, steer your energy, steer your oversoul, not as a participant, but as a driver, right? That's like a co-creator being. Ancient, that's like a old school, situation walking the surface of the earth. Because that's how it used to be way back in the day. Okay? So, I hope that helps you guys in understanding. Because I'm like, well, I have this aspect, or I'm reptilian, I have this aspect, or I'm this and I have this aspect. Check this out. I'm German. This is the analogy I always use. I'm German. My mom, German. I was born in Southern California. I'm also Native American, French, German, and a bunch of other things. Viking, right? You got some Viking in there. Just because I'm German doesn't mean I'm a Nazi, right? Well, just because you're reptilian doesn't mean you're evil. Okay, people with this negative connotation. I'm just going to go ahead and say this because people need to get a gut check on what this is. Okay? If you want to be a true judge and a true steward on this planet, this is how you view any situation. This is what I say to beings in the astral or that I interact with. I don't care if you have scales, feathers, or fur. I don't care where you come from. I don't care who trained you. I don't care what galaxy you come from. What I pay attention to and what I monitor are your actions and your motivations. That is what we pay attention to. Not what skin color you have or where you come from or who you think you are. This is Earth. What we're paying attention to is your actions and motivations for being here. Are you here to serve or are you here to serve yourself? Are you here to learn or are you here to manipulate other people? What are you here to do? And that is the way, which is the gnarliest thing. See, a lot of these beings down here, they've never been in front of a council. All of a sudden, all the bullshit falls away. They're like, Ryan, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about that. This is what I want to hear about, son. What's your motivation for doing that? Why did you do that? Mine is when I was a little more naughty on my 4D night side, right? I used to go on missions and stuff. Why did you do that? What was your motivation behind it? They want to know the processing and programming behind the action. And see, when you start viewing and observing like that, then you can't hide behind your coat of arms or your creed or whatever that is. You got to step and be responsible for your actions, right? And that is where all of us are headed. Be responsible for your actions. Hearts open, ladies and gents. Stick to that manifestation. Stick to that ambassadorship. Like, look, I know all this stuff's going on, but I'm going to stay grounded and centered. And I'm still going to choose in my life what I feel is in everyone's best interest to support abundance for every living life form on this sphere of awesomeness, right? Living and unliving, right? Everything around me. That is how you want to be. And if you play that game, then you get all the support in the universe, right? So, my name is Rion. It's been an absolute pleasure for this Coffee Talks. Max, I love you. You guys, I got some amazing stuff here. I just finished. I don't know if I could just show you real quick what I got. I'm pretty excited about this, and a couple of people are really pumped that they're done. I've got some pretty awesome things, and I just finished my new plasma drive for my new Nubian plasma and then obviously the 24 karat gold tip stuff. I hope you guys enjoy that. Anywho. Obviously, more information at Unite the Collective if you guys are just waking up. Videos on how to astral project, clear, and whatnot. EthericTech.com for the awesome light tools. And obviously, I am at AscensionLeague.com if you guys need a one-on-one as a refresher of some of the things you might want to work on. Especially some of you guys starting to that star language, So a lot of that old, languages are coming back for us, and to understand that is coming from our soul and our soul understanding, not sometimes this physical place in this modern age we like to call, 3D physical Earth, right? So you guys stay up out there. I love every single one of you. Sending love and abundance from Sedona. Blessings.